2024 is upon us. Tonight we usher in the new year, and that means there are traditions that must be upheld. Or else. How's everyone spending the New Year's Eve? Let us know down in the comments. I'm your host James, and these are the top 10 unsettling New Year's urban legends that are actually true. And we're going to be starting off the list with a cautionary piece of advice. Be careful of the first person you allow into your home at the stroke of midnight. It's said that the initial person to set foot in your home on January 1st can either usher in good fortune or bring about bad luck for the entire year. The superstition implies that the character and disposition of the first guest can shape the tone of the upcoming year. If the first person through your door is considered kind, generous, or someone who embodies positive qualities, you can imagine it bodes well for the months ahead. On the flip side, if the first guest just kind of sucks for whatever reason and brings negative energy, it may set a tone of misfortune for the rest of the year. Number 9, air it out. The New Year's tradition of airing out your home involves opening doors and windows to let the old year's bad energy out and invite in fresh, positive energy for the coming year. The belief is pretty straightforward. By allowing these stagnant or negative vibes accumulated over the past year to exit, you create space for a new and favorable energy to make its way into your living space. The act of airing out the home is a symbolic cleansing ritual, a way to start the new year with a clean slate. It is believed that if you neglect this tradition, the residual negative energy from the previous year may linger and influence the atmosphere of your home in the coming months. People often engage in this practice on the first day of the year, sometimes as one of the first tasks of the day. It's about literally and metaphorically opening up to the possibilities and positivity that the new year might bring. And I have an idea for how you might want to usher in some good energy for your coming year. Why not hit that subscribe button down below? Tons of videos are going to be coming your way over the coming months, so don't miss out. Next up on the list we have making noise. Put down the book, get out of bed, and just get rowdy on New Year's Eve. It's very important, actually. The tradition of making noise at midnight on New Year's Eve is rooted in the belief that all the ruckus helps scare away evil spirits. The idea is to welcome the new year with some noise, warding off any negative energies that might have clung to the old one. This is a widespread practice across various cultures. Think of all the fireworks, the firecrackers, bells, horns that contribute to the collective racket. The noise isn't just for celebratory purposes, it's a deliberate effort to disrupt the peace momentarily to ensure a fresh start to the new year. The consequences of not participating in this noise-making tradition are sometimes believed to be dire. The silence during this transition could be seen as an invitation for negative forces to linger, unsettling the balance and harmony needed to usher in the new year. Number 7, the year walk. If you ever feel like gaining knowledge about events soon to come, you may want to participate in the following Swedish tradition. But practice caution, this tradition doesn't come without danger. And I'm not just talking about superstitious stuff either. I really mean it can kind of be dangerous if you don't know what you're doing. The New Year's tradition of Arskang in Sweden is more commonly known as the year walk. The practice involves embarking on a solitary journey at the stroke of midnight on New Year's Eve, aiming to glimpse into the future and gain insights into your destiny. Those who partake in this solitary walk are believed to enter a realm between the living and the dead. The journey involves specific rituals, including abstaining from food and drink for an extended period, and walking through the woods, deep into the woods, to the point where you can no longer hear the sounds of civilization. Through this walk in the forest, participants might encounter supernatural entities and spirits that hold the power to foretell the events of the coming year. It's said that the spirits encountered during this trek can be unpredictable, providing cryptic messages, or in some versions of the tale, demanding a toll from the walker. The experience is described as physically and psychologically demanding, with the boundary between reality and the supernatural becoming blurred. And obviously walking deep into the forest alone at night in the middle of winter has its inherent dangers, so don't say I suggested trying this. Next up, let's talk about laundry and the fact that you may want to avoid doing it on New Year's Day. I know you may have some fresh new threads now soiled from the rowdy partying you did the night before. Washing your clothes on New Year's Day is said to bring misfortune. According to this tradition, washing clothes on the first day of the year is akin to washing for the dead. And it's said that a family member will inevitably pass away in the coming year. Now, that's pretty bad, but there's an additional layer to this superstition. Those who ignore the warning and proceed to wash a load of laundry on New Year's Day are believed to invoke a self-imposed curse as well. Such an action will lead to a year filled with an excess of laundry. Now that is truly nightmarish. Kinda contradicts the death part. Really, there should be less laundry, seeing as someone in your household kicked the bucket, but I'm just not gonna risk it. Hoarders rejoice, for at number 5, we have not getting rid of anything until January 2nd. Now, this doesn't just mean keeping your old jeans or that half-empty bottle of shampoo or all those gifts from Christmas that you're gonna just re-gift. It extends to pretty much anything you'd think of tossing. Trash, nope, gotta let it sit. Old magazines, better keep them for one more day. That broken toaster, it's part of the furniture now, until tomorrow. The idea behind this odd tradition is that whatever you do on the first day of the year really sets the stage for the next 364 days. So if you dare to declutter or dispose of things, you're practically sending out eviction notices to good vibes. According to this tradition, cleaning house on New Year's Day is like cleaning out your life, but not in a good way. It's said that there will be a constant stream of departures, not just of stuff, but people as well. At the very least, relationships could end, but once again, this could also mean some people you know will die, so try to avoid that. So if you're into superstitions or just want to hedge your bets against a year filled with exits, the advice is clear. On New Year's Day, hold on to everything and don't even think about taking out the trash. Number 4, the Namahage. The Namahage is a traditional Japanese folklore figure, primarily associated with the Oga Peninsula in Akita Prefecture. It's a bit like a folkloric boogeyman, usually depicted as a demon or ogre. The Namahage, typically portrayed with a grotesque mask and straw garments, is part of a unique New Year's tradition called the Namahage Seido Matsuri. During the Namahage Seido Matsuri, groups of men dress up as Namahage characters and visit homes in the community. These Namahage go from door to door, wielding wooden knives and shouting in a loud, intimidating manner right into people's faces. The purpose is to ward off evil spirits, bring good fortune for the coming year, and, most importantly really, scare the crap out of lazy people who do nothing for the community. The Namahage characters often ask the people inside about their behavior and their work ethic, reminding them to be diligent and virtuous. It's a blend of entertainment, superstition, and cultural reinforcement. The tradition is deeply rooted in the region's history and agricultural lifestyle, emphasizing the importance of hard work and community values. So, this next thing has become something of an urban legend in relatively recent years. The idea that folks in Chile celebrate in graveyards on New Year's Eve. Well, this is actually partially true. Some locals of Talca engage in a unique practice to honor the departed. As the clock strikes midnight on New Year's Eve, families gather at the resting places of their deceased loved ones. This tradition is actually relatively recent, starting in the late 80s. A Talcan family chose to welcome the new year at the grave of a recently departed relative who had served as an employee of the cemetery. Over time, this practice gained popularity, and authorities responded by actually leaving the cemetery gates unlocked on New Year's. Families bring food and drinks to share a meal by the graveside, creating an atmosphere that kind of transcends the boundary between the living and the dead. Candles are lit, and the graves are adorned with decorations, a way for the living to connect with their roots, paying tribute to those who have passed away. Some even choose to spend the entire night next to the graves of their departed relatives, sleeping beside the resting places of loved ones as a way to usher in the new year while maintaining a close connection with those who have come before. I like this tradition. Number 2, the tradition of eating soba noodles in Japan. If you're looking for the perfect New Year's Eve meal, this may be it. But like with everything on this list, be careful. The good that comes along with the tradition comes with a risk of bad luck. So this involves eating soba noodles just before midnight, symbolizing a wish for longevity and a clean break from the old year. But there's a darker belief tied to it. If you fail to finish the noodles by the time the clock strikes midnight, it's said to bring misfortune and may impact the length of your life. The idea is that the act of consuming the noodles before the new year marks a transition and ensures a clean start, but leaving any part of the noodles unfinished may disrupt this practice, potentially inviting bad luck into the coming year. And finally, we have the tale of the Peeping Tom. So it was New Year's Eve in Alabama. A woman awoke to the sound of yelling coming from her yard. Her husband had gone to take out the trash at 11 p.m., thankfully, before the clock struck midnight. But he'd seen something terrifying. It was a man completely nude, aside from the Ronald Reagan mask he was wearing and the sock covering his privates, peeping into the window of their bedroom. The husband yelled at the intruder to leave, and luckily he scuttled off into the night. The police were called, but the intruder was never seen again. This is a true story. It happened to reality TV star Danielle Yancey, who shared the surveillance footage of the incident online. With all that, I want to wish you all a happy new year. Make some noise to scare off them spirits. Make sure you let the right one in after midnight. Have fun tonight. Be safe. And I'll catch you, yes, you specifically, next year.